I want to close this session, but before I do that, I want to read this quote which you gave in an interview. I believe in the past, but my feet are firmly rooted in the present, and I'm constantly thinking about the future. And that quote, to some extent, serves an important lesson for what does being a custodian mean in a family business, a lasting family business. What message would you like to give to these audience who are here together today?
Well, the second generation businessmen giving a message. So my message would be that when you're a starting entrepreneurial kind of a business, I think enjoy the fruits, but don't cut the fruit tree.
Now that we've heard from Shriji, I want to open the session to certain Q&A, and before I deliver the closing remarks. So, questions from the audience.
Good afternoon, Maharana. I would like to ask you a question concerning the moral, the Maharana Trust. How do you run the Maharana Trust? I mean, you told us how you run the activities of the revenue and the assets, but the Maharana Trust, which is the moral trust, do you have a family organization? Do the city managers get involved?
Oh, absolutely.
Cultural leaders?
Absolutely. It's run professionally. It's run professionally because there is no other way. Let me just clarify, well, not clarify, but substantiate is that there is a lot of it which depends on the will and the commitment of the person. You can't tie down everybody by a contract. You can't tie down human resource you are employing by asking them to sign a bond. The number of times people jump the bond is not funny. So as long as the moral commitment is there and as long as the desire is voluntary, and let me tell you, my personal feeling is that that is more binding than any legal contract that any lawyer in the world can draw up. And on that principle it works so far. How it will work in the case of my son or grandson, I don't know. But I have not provided him with any lock-in period or any such thing, because he will have to take his own decision. He takes a bad decision, he will be known as a rotten egg in the family of 77. And no one wants to be known as a rotten egg in a continuous legacy of 77 generations. History will record it, and it will be indelibly written that this guy stole his things from his own family. And that in itself is such a fearful aspect in one's life that you don't cross that threshold.
Thank you. Please identify yourself before you say the question.
Hello, I'm Renata from Brazil. And my question is, how do you plan for succession in terms of business, in terms of traditions, in terms of, is this an issue or?
Yes, there are two types of succession. One is the succession to the line of the family, and that is by rule of primogeniture. And the other succession is to business, that's on merit. That is clearly on merit. Because if you put the wrong guy in the wrong position just because he happens to be my father's or my favorite or my wife's favorite, won't work. Run the whole thing into the ground. And like I said now, we have disassociated the ownership, or we are in the process of disassociating ownership from management. So that will take care of that. 2 years ago, we were still, Raj, my son, was still running the property. He's still doing it now. But soon, he'll be looking at the same thing from a different level and not on a hands-on level.